All right, is this thing a recording here? This is Mars mission log, day 317 here. Um, so I'm doing this string winder thing here to keep me from going insane while the dust storm clears outside. So I've got a box of some kit here that I've scrounged up and got the display and didn't have the stepper board I thought, but I had, but I got one of these little micro CNC. It's the same thing I use in 3D printer, so got an Uno board for that. Already printed up the platter here and my little pigtail tube for the thread guide, and there's past the X guide table. Got a little servo to go in that. It's I don't know if this is going to be up to the task here, and it prints off about 2 millimeters in the size of the servo because it's not the right servo. But, I may well just reprint it to use this larger servo I got here. So that covers the kit so far. So yeah, minor tweaking. You'll notice I got rid of the baffle here on the guide arm, and there's another servo actuator thing I saw on eBay. It's just like just a linear thing that goes back and forth, and it's meant for rudder control in airplanes or something. But it just goes back and forth, and instead of having to do an arm like this, and that may be a better product to go with. So anyway, I'm going to look into that and get one of their like $6 or something like that. But same operation. Anyway, so that's where that's at. Meanwhile, it's a freaking sausage factory. There's blood and shit all over the floor. This has been refined here now. It may look more or less the same, but it actually all makes sense now. And there's a bunch more here to flesh it out. So the job concept is now thoroughly embraced. So loading or saving your current thing as a job here. So the job page, let me get rid of all these ID things here, cluttering it up. So there we go. So a job is basically, it's a pickup. We've got a specified number of windings using a specified winding profile that we've set up on a specified wire diameter with a specified bobbin size. Boom. So when we can save different ones, and what's a profile? I'm glad you asked. So of course, here's the profile, right? We've seen this before. So when you click on the pattern field to set it, then it will take you to this screen where you then select the appropriate pattern. Now, but we can save profiles and we can save lists. So we've got a screen here. So when you go to save a profile, you'll see the other currently existing saved profiles, and you'll be able to select a slot here and save your one or select one here anyway. So likewise for jobs, i.e. pickups. So you got your list of saved jobs, and you can select one or get the hell out of here. So now we've got this whole workflow concept thoroughly embraced here now, where we've got a list of jobs which consists of a number of windings, a profile, wire diameter, bobbin size, so we can make whatever calculations we need to make based on all that. And so that sets up with the profile. That's all the parameters there. So, and then you just go to the work page and you start doing it. So, could it get any easier and yet more complicated all at the same time? Isn't that beautiful? So what I've been having to do is like anybody that counts here that I'm of any interest at all has gotten a special name. You see, like I didn't care about the word of, it's just named T2, T5 there. But this other thing, oh, TJ name, because that's the job name, because I'm going to have to fill that in and change it, and the end count, and the end target, and the B step, and the B stop, and B CFG, and reset, and blah, blah, blah. And all these things on all these freaking pages all have names, and I've had to go through there and make sure their IDs all make sense, and everything is absolutely as it needs to be. And if I'm gonna click on it and it counts, then I send component ideas, Jackman. If you're not gonna push on it with your finger, if I don't care if you push on it with your finger, then I don't have that send component ID checked. So I've gone through and done all that. So boom, boom, boom. Hashed over this so many times. Oh my gosh. So that's where we end up over here in the Arduino code. So God, everything that we do over there basically kind of has to be all defined over here, because we're really two computers talking to each other. So just like me talking to myself, except it's two. Anyway. So I've got a structure here defined for the configuration, for the profile, for the job, some stuff for pin assignments here. Some of that needs changes a little bit still, but anyway, we got some strings. So I've had to define all of the next-gen pages here that exist on that other stuff that I was over here. All that's now over here. In fact, that's what we see here is this page list here. So, and then I've had to list all the objects that I care about that are going to get poked and display shit. So everything on the start page, everything on the work page, everything on the job page, everything on the config page, everything on the profile page. Every object here has got to have got a page number, the object number, the name of the object over on the display computer, on the next-gen display itself, and then there's this name of the variable that I'm creating in the Arduino program itself. All those defined, so the profile page, the pattern page, the list, pattern list page, or the actually should be the profile list page, and the job list page. And then here, once again, now everybody that's going to get poked and prodded that I want to know when they get poked and prodded, I've got to add them to the listener. So boom, we start adding stuff to the listener, everything on the start page, the work page, the job page, the config page, the profile page, the pattern page, the profile list page, the job list page. God, no. So that's finally it. We're done with listing all that stuff. And I got a little more mumbo jumbo here for the motor, setting up a structure for all the motor information, and then we really finally get into here what's called the pop callbacks. So once you push something and let go, it goes pop, and it's when my code gets triggered. So boom, straight up, first one here, the direction button. You push it, and I check the push state. Is it pushed in effectively? Then because it's a two-state button. So then we'll call that clockwise, and if it pops out, then we're going to call that counterclockwise. Whew, that's one little button. Then we get to the start job button here. Let me get this screen here. This all goes with it. It's all on the this screen here. So the first one, there's the direction in the start job. So that's going to change us to the work page from the start page. And then it's going to set up some values on the work page once we get there. And that's about as far as I've gotten. And now this is already, you can see here, we're pushing nearly 300 lines of 320 lines of code here so far in Deep. I'm editing this other program, but this whole thing itself is we'll call it 1,200 lines, and it's going to be longer. We're going to be looking at least 2,000, maybe even 3,000 lines of code by the time I'm all done. So, oddly. Red drum.